signed a 2-year, $16 million contract with Baltimore in 2024, and it paid off immediately. Henry ran for just under 2,000 yards, had a league-high 16 tuds. The Ravens could extend the 31-year-old running back to give the team more cap flexibility and keep him in Baltimore long-term. Here's Ravens GM Eric DeCosta talking about his running back.
We have a lot of different balls in the air right now. That's probably what I would say on that. I'm not going to talk about what we're doing, what we're not doing behind the scenes business-wise with these guys. I don't think it's good for me to do that. We're blessed to have a bunch of really good players, and we're going to try and keep as many of those guys as we can.
It's interesting because we saw it last year with Saquon. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles just extended Barkley, and he has 2 years, or had 2 years left on his contract. It would make a lot of sense, too much sense for me, when I think about the Ravens, to extend Derrick Henry. They have other guys, Linderbaum, Kyle Hamilton, Isaiah Likely, other guys that could extend.
Well, he's one of their 6 core players.
To me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He already proved his worth.
I could see moving off Mark Edwards, the tight end.
Mark Andrews, yeah.
Mark Andrews. It's a good tight end draft.
Yeah.
He's getting more banged up. That's a tough physical position. Tight ends can age very, very quickly. I like Mark Andrews, but I would move off him at this point if I had to save money. I get that move.
But there's no downside, right, to extending Derrick Henry. He is a unicorn. He's 31. He plays like he's 25. Yeah. There's no age there.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are in such a, they're in a weird situation just because of some of the players that they do have a lot of great players, and the ages of these various players, and you're trying to figure out how you can win now and kind of balance that out with kind of what do we need to do in order to continue to stay competitive. And yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, when you say it's a no-brainer for the extension, I guess it also all depends on the price point. I have no doubt that Derrick Henry is going to continue to be a beast, but I think Derrick Henry very much will be a beast until he's not, and so you just don't know when that not is. I don't think it's going to be this coming season, but you don't know when it's going to be. But he obviously was such a monster for the Baltimore Ravens, and you can see, I mean, to me at the very least, the Ravens saw just how much a beast of a running back can be with Lamar Jackson, and how that should always be the 1-2 punch with Lamar Jackson. I mean, you saw it with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. When you have, such a special and gifted running quarterback, that when you can just get a monster running back, you make the argument that it's more important to have that than a tight end or a wide receiver. And like you guys know, I am ultra high on tight ends. I think, tight end. But I think when you have a truly mobile quarterback where clearly them running is a big part of their game, and you can really feed off of this RPO, and you just add a whole nother layer that really keeps the defense confused, right? It just adds another option, right? The RPO, right? Where you either Derrick Henry's going to run, Lamar's going to run, or he's going to pass, and it's just adds a whole nother dimension to the offense. And I think it also when you have Lamar Jackson, who's obviously so physical, so mobile, and can do everything, being able to just hand the ball off and get some positive yards it's necessary after he just rips off a run, takes a big hit. He needs to be able to just get to the line, call hike, and hand the ball off, because that's a real thing, right? It's harder to just now immediately have him hike, drop back, and now scan the field and look to throw it. It just becomes a lot in a short period of time. And so having a beast and a monster and a reliable back like Derrick Henry is, and I think the only time that you're going to move on from Derrick Henry at this point, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, is when you truly can replace him with another beast, another monster. That would be my mentality for the Baltimore Ravens. It's if they were in a position to draft Ashton Genty or whoever it may be at the time, then it's okay, we can let go of Derrick Henry. But until then, it's you kind of have to plan your exit strategy at that point, rather than just be oh, we're gonna clear up some space and et cetera, et cetera. Because this offense with Derrick Henry was way more intimidating from my viewpoint over the years of watching Lamar Jackson. It was just way more anxiety inducing, and just a feeling of Derrick Henry gets going, how can you stop him? And if he gets the run game going, that opens up the field for Lamar, and then Lamar can run as well. Like, it's just you're just like, you get scared. You're really kind of like, who do we focus on? And obviously, once you now start adding in Zay Flowers, likely, etc., then it becomes a snowball. This is why there was a reason why this offense was so special, and why someone like Tom Brady is like, this is a sleeping giant. But like I keep saying, like, I think that quote is so telling, because it's like, Tom Brady's like, this team is a sleeping giant. He said that when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers the second time. And, my mentality is like, I agree with that, but why are they sleeping? They should not be sleeping. This team should not be sleeping. Everybody should fear them. Everybody should know them. Like, it just, it should be loud and clear. This should be a giant that is just stopping and wreaking havoc on everyone. That's what I'm looking to see. So, it is interesting because he's hitting a lot of balls in the air right now, and it's just like, sometimes teams need to take a slight step back when they win a lot. We've seen the Buffalo Bills have to take a slight step back. We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs have to take a slight step back in terms of like some of the pieces around them. The Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Like, they need to let go of some pieces. They take a slight, and again, I'm saying a slight step back. Detroit Lions, like you see this again and again. Baltimore, the Los Angeles Rams a couple years ago, after they when they won their Super Bowl. And when you just see the Baltimore Ravens, like, they just keep feeling like they're just right there. I know they didn't make the conference championship game, but like nobody wants to face the Ravens. I know the Eagles beat the Ravens, but like that's an anxiety-inducing matchup. Maybe Eagles fans won't admit it, but like, that's facing Lamar, Derrick Henry, Flowers, Mark Andrews, even though obviously he was dropping the ball. Like, that's exhausting. That's tough. So they just feel like they're just right there, and so you just don't want to see them have to like let go of any talent unless there is a true replacement in line. And again, look at the Eagles when they had to, when Kelsey was retiring, like they didn't have a step back in center. They then already had the replacement ready to go. So they weren't like, yeah, we're just going to have to kind of figure it out next year. We're losing, one of our best players we've had in the history of the Eagles franchise. Like, they already had his replacement lined up, and we're like, here you go. Smooth transition, won a Super Bowl. So there was no step back in that moment. And so the Baltimore Ravens need to figure out how can they kind of navigate through all of this and not take a step back, because if everyone else around the league is taking a step back and they manage to take a step forward, then it's you are to blame if you don't win a Super Bowl. And if that's what happens, only you. You can only blame yourselves at that point. And that's an awesome place to be in, obviously. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens? I guess trying to figure out what to do with Derrick Henry at this point, and kind of what they need to do to be able to take this step forward. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.